Ooh, I'm live. Hello. Happy Sunday morning. No one here with me live, but somebody might watch this later. So, hi to anybody watching this later. Ooh, hi. A couple people here. Good morning, everybody. By the way, I'm kind of getting used to live streaming. It's not a thing that I do normally. So, um, I love to get your comments. Even if you just put in a comment like, hey, um, that is a good way for me to learn how to do this. Oops, sorry. Okay, so good morning. Happy Sunday morning. So this is our Sunday morning meditation live stream. So yeah, we're just going to take a little bit of time out of our day and we're going to spend it just exploring our inner world with some meditation. And so you don't have to be experienced with meditation. In fact, this is a really great way to get into meditation if you're not familiar with it. By the way, I'm just giving you a heads up that it's kind of a windy day today here in Nevis. And so if it gets kind of noisy, I might be muting myself temporarily, just so that it's not too, I don't know what kinds of like rustly sounds you hear. Plus, I live kind of close to a busy road, and sometimes the traffic that goes by is sometimes noisy. But I just want to point out something just along those lines is that we can't completely escape noise and distractions. And in fact, that's not really, it's nice. It helps us, especially when we're first learning meditation. It really helps to have a calm, quiet atmosphere that's away from distractions. And we certainly should try to facilitate that for ourselves if we can. But this is not a perfect world. We can't get away from noise and distractions all the time. And so that's not a good excuse to not do it. Sometimes we try to wait for the perfect circumstances before we'll, make a move to do something, but we just can't wait for perfect circumstances. So maybe you don't have the perfect space for quiet and solitude in your home or where you're at. Maybe it's hard to get away from noise and distractions, but in meditation, we're not necessarily trying to force anything. We're not trying to force anything out. We're not rejecting. We're not resisting. But we are learning how to just be in the constantly fluctuating circumstances as they change from moment to moment. So even though the world around us might be moving and it might be constantly chaotic, we can find this sort of stillness within that allows us to just kind of move and flow with the circumstances without resisting or without getting, overly involved in our thoughts. And so that's what we're going to practice today. So the first thing when we're meditating or when we're practicing meditation is our body has to be in a position that is both comfortable and also stable. We have to be alert. We can't fall asleep during meditation. Okay, this is about cultivating awareness. So whether you're sitting on the floor, whether you're sitting in a chair, whether you're just sitting up in bed, get yourself into a position that feels comfortable, but at the same time you feel like you're not going to fall asleep, like you feel alert, you feel awake, and you feel like the body feels strong and stable. Okay? So let's just come and settle into this moment and just accept that we don't have to be anywhere else right now. Just let that thought settle into your mind that right now you're dedicating to this, and there's nowhere else in the world you need to be. There's nothing else that you need to be doing. Just breathe in the sweetness of that thought. And in order to touch this stillness within, we need some kind of anchor that's going to help hold us in place, because no doubt our mind is used to being scattered in a million different directions. And in meditation, we are concentrating ourselves fully in this one place. But no doubt we're going to drift away. And so at some point, as we're practicing, we notice that we have drifted away, that we got lost in our thoughts. But then we have to have something that kind of brings us back, something that we can check in with, and that helps us to recognize when we actually have drifted away. So there's a lot of different techniques that you can use for holding yourself in one place in the present moment. If you don't already have your own technique, then I suggest just focusing on your own breathing, because the breath is natural, it's portable, it's always available. And not only that, but it sort of represents this bridge that's between our physical world, our physical reality, and sort of the deeper dimensions, the deeper layers of our mind and beyond. So let's just take a few moments to tune into our breathing. And we're just letting the breath do its thing. We're not trying to control the breath in any way. But with that said, once you really begin to notice the breath, become fully present with the breath, you might notice that the breath naturally becomes a little bit longer and a little bit slower. And as you concentrate the awareness on the breath, you might notice areas in the body where the breath feels a little bit restricted. And as you notice that, just by bringing your awareness to it, you can maybe create a little bit of space in that area and deliberately breathe into that space. And then settle back into your steady and easeful position. One of the biggest obstacles that we have, that we try to get past in our meditation practice, is discomfort in the physical body. And you might already, even just a few minutes into this meditation, be starting to feel like, your back is achy, or your hips feel stiff, or you feel strong sensation in your knees or your ankles or somewhere else in your body. And if you do feel that, then please know that you are a completely normal human being. And one thing that we can do as we're settling into our practice is just to do some intuitive movements or stretching with the body that helps us to remove some of the unconscious tension that we might be holding on to. And just to help to free up the energetic channels so that the prana, the chi, the vital life force can flow more freely. And of course, when the prana is flowing more freely, then we feel that in a greater sense of freedom and vibrancy, not only in the body, but we also feel this equilibrium in our mind. So one thing you can try is just bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder, feeling that stretch on the left side of the neck, moving the chin a little bit back and a little bit forward, just stretching out the neck a little bit, bringing the head back to center and bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder and feeling that stretch on the right side of the neck. Maybe wiggling the jaw from side to side. Move the shoulder back and forth a little bit. If anything, just bringing the awareness to where you're holding your tension in your body, because once you kind of recognize where you're holding tension, then it's easy to, just sort of let it go. And obviously, this is why we practice, this is the reason for our asana practice and our yoga. So all of these stretches, all of these movements, all these exercises that that most people consider this is what yoga is, right? These movements, these stretches, really what that is all about, what that part of the yoga practice is about, is preparing our body to find a position of steadiness and ease so that the prana is flowing more freely, so that we can find that internal equilibrium and that stillness so that we can sink into the deeper layers of being. And go a little bit deeper than the surface and do a little bit of inner exploration. So that's what we're doing. Might feel good just to reach the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, and open up the chest and lift the chin towards the sky. Take a few deep breaths into any of those spaces in the spine, the chest, the belly that feel tight. And then exhale and relax the arms and just kind of round your spine forward. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Create some length through the back of the body. Any intuitive movements that come naturally, don't resist that. Don't overthink it, because, as you are practicing, you are waking up your internal wisdom. Okay, you're getting all of that clutter out of the way, all the noise and, the congestion in your energetic field. And then that allows you to more easily connect and commune with the wise old sage within that knows exactly what you need. Okay, so any final movements, and know that, you can take, especially if you're, new to meditation, it's okay to, just resolve to be still for, start with 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes of stillness is a big deal in the world that we live in, so don't take that for granted. So, start with 5 minutes of stillness, but then if you really, really, really start feeling achy and uncomfortable, then, take a couple of minutes to do some stretches and get comfortable again, and then settle in for another 5 minutes. And then gradually over time, as you, increase your resilience in the body, and remove that energetic congestion. And the more you practice that stillness, then it's going to, the length of time that you're able to, sit in that equilibrium is going to become longer and longer. In the beginning, you might get that equilibrium that you feel it for a few seconds, and then it's fleeting. And then you go back to the busy mind or the uncomfortable thinking about the discomforts in your body and so forth. But just work gradually, okay? Don't think that, if I can't sit in meditation, if I can't sit in this stillness for 30 minutes or an hour easily, then that means that I'm not cut out for meditation. Don't think that way at all, okay? So we're just meditation, and this practice that we're doing today is basically the art of being present, just allowing ourselves to be fully present in this place, in this moment in time, and getting accustomed to that fluctuation of distractions and being able to observe it and acknowledge it without resisting it and without grabbing onto it and getting involved in it. Okay, so settling back into this space, coming back to our breath. Just observing each breath in and each breath out. and even staying present during those subtle spaces in between. You feel the body in this space. You feel sensations. You're aware of them. You're not resisting them. You're not reacting to them. You're not getting lost in them. Thoughts, feelings, mental impressions, images continue to move in and out through the mind. You're aware of them. You're not resisting them. You're not reacting to them. You're not getting lost in them. You're still present with each breath in and each breath out. And even those spaces in between. If the awareness has drifted, no judgment, no frustration, you just notice and then you return back to the breath or whatever your anchor is. And you continue to stay with that anchor. Going to give you the option to incorporate another technique that you can use in meditation to help you stay anchored and present. Because sometimes the mind is that noisy that it's easy to just get carried away by that whirlpool. You need something a little bit um, kind of stronger to hold you there. And so in that case, you can try mantra. And mantra is a word or a phrase that has sacred meaning. And it can be a Sanskrit mantra, or it can be something that has a sacred meaning to you, whatever that is. And we can repeat that mantra. And, you can do that verbally if you want to, or you can also repeat it mentally. Okay, sorry guys, I lost my connection there for a minute. But you're still here. You're still with your breath. And as you inhale, you're hearing and feeling the vibration Om internally. And when you exhale, you're feeling and hearing the vibration Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Naturally, our exhalation is a little bit longer than our inhalation when we're relaxed. So you may hear and feel one long Om as you slowly breathe in. And on that nice long exhalation, you repeat Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhaling Om and exhaling Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. If the awareness has drifted, no judgment, no frustration, you notice and you Arrive back at your anchor. Inhaling Om, exhaling Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Sometimes we don't notice when we have been caught up in our thoughts right away. That's completely normal. That sound of our mantra gradually gets a little further and further away until suddenly we realize that, oh, we forgot about it. And then we come back and we come back into our position of steadiness and ease. We shift if we need to and just get comfortable again, connect with the breath again. And allow that vibration of that mantra within you to be very deliberate and very distinct. As we use this as a concentration technique to try to hold us in one place in the practice of yoga, that's called dharana. Okay, so this is what brings us into meditation. It's not meditation itself. It's it's what we use, our technique and our effort to hold ourselves in one place, because otherwise our energy just gets scattered. And so we need to have it fully concentrated in one place. And that's when we have that powerful equilibrium and we can experience that expanded state of awareness. So if you have the time, let's just practice a little bit longer. Adjust yourself as you need to. Do any movements or stretches just to, to find your Shatira Sukham, your balance of feeling easeful and also strong and alert. Arriving back to the breath. Very distinct sense of awareness. You trust the breath, that it knows exactly what to do, and you're just observing it. You're aware of thoughts passing through, just like clouds drifting across the sky. No need to get involved, to analyze them, to question them. Just stay with your breath, each breath in and each breath out, in those spaces in between. And perhaps as you inhale, you feel and hear that vibration of Om. And on the breath out, you feel and hear the vibration Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhaling Om. Exhaling Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. If the awareness has drifted, no big deal. Just bring it back. You can still feel and hear the vibration of Om Shanti moving rhythmically with your flow of breath. Still aware of movement in the mind, no attachment. Still aware of sensation in the body. And now you can set the intention to continue this practice through the rest of your day, because this is something that we can and should incorporate into our daily lives. So just this concentrated presence. And that can be really hard, especially when we're, going through difficult things and we have a lot of demands in our life. It's really easy just to sort of scatter. But when we're fully concentrated, when our energy is fully present, everything that we do becomes really powerful, becomes more meaningful. And so then we can apply that that powerful presence to things that are really important, life and expansion of consciousness and growth and learning and personal development and passing the flame to others. So I encourage you to continue that practice as you go throughout your day, during slow, easy activities, but also during action, when things get busy, during things that you enjoy that are pleasant and also things that are unpleasant, boring, uncomfortable. Keep that same presence with you. And this is where you get some serious personal growth that starts to happen, is when you let yourself sit with your discomfort. So the saying goes that the comfort zone is a beautiful place to be, but nothing grows there. So I just want to give a shout out to you guys who practiced with me today. I'm just looking at the comments, and I see Maggie Moe from New Mexico. Morning, Maggie Moe. And I see Billy Guy, and I think I have a feeling who that is. I think it might be Janet. Let me know in the comments if that was Janet. I'm just curious, or if it's somebody else. So yeah, thanks for coming and doing this. When you cultivate this kind of awareness, it's not just a benefit to you. It's a big benefit to you. But it's a benefit to everybody who comes into contact with you. Honestly, just even from, that short practice of repeating the vibration of Om Shanti, we are cultivating these peaceful vibrations. And I think that it's really cool that, that we're doing this together, like it's a collective thing. I'd love to see this kind of grow too, and more people doing this. That's kind of the philosophy behind, all these Buddhist monks that get together every morning before dawn, and they collectively chant these mantras of peace. Because they believe that that's more powerful than actually, doing it as an individual. That when you bring together people who are all concentrating their energy in the same place with the same purpose of just, being present. Maybe, if there's a specific, aim of creating those vibrations of peace and sending them outwards. Like, that's really powerful. That's a really powerful thing for people to do. And I think it's sometimes when I'm feeling, when things aren't going too good in life, I sometimes just think about, these monks. I clearly have this vision of the monks in McLeod which is a place in northern India in the Himalayan mountains. And this is where the Dalai Lama escaped from Tibet into exile, and he has his temple there. And then there's all of these, his Tibetan followers who have gone to great lengths to escape, through some of the highest mountains in the world, and come to this little village in India to be near the Dalai Lama. And I spent a couple of months there, and there's this the temple where all the monks gather, and they collectively chant. And I don't know if you've ever heard Tibetan chanting before, but it's really deep and guttural, and it's almost frightening the first couple of times you hear it, especially when there's so many people chanting at once. But that's their belief, that they are doing this not just for themselves, but they are cultivating something and sending out that energy to others with the intention of, for waking up the consciousness and the peace within others, and basically changing the world. So as I was saying before, when I'm feeling bad in life, I think about those guys and those girls, those monks and nuns who are dedicating like so many hours of their day to cultivating that vibration and sending it out. It makes me feel better. I'm like, oh, there's somebody in the world who cares, and there's somebody out there who is doing something that's not just for themselves. It's hard not to get self-absorbed in the world that we live in, and to get isolated. So thank you for being a part of this and sharing your energy today. And if you think somebody who might be able to benefit from doing something like this, then which is pretty much everybody, then tell them about it. And we'll be doing it again next month. So the first Sunday of every month. I just started this a couple of months ago, just kind of an experiment, but something that I would like to keep going. And yeah, we'll see. So nice to see you all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Okay. Have a beautiful day. Om Shanti. Peace, peace.